guess what I'm saying is that, like, maybe we start a cult.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
So I could always go across to the gym because this really just sounds like I'm in a forest. I mean, if I could go into the sauna to do it, then it would be quiet, but then my phone will overheat. Look, so this is great noise, great sound in here.
Right.
We're inside of a Swedish sauna.
Okay. So to be clear to everyone, we recorded the podcast earlier this week, and then
but it's garbage. We have to throw it out.
And so much happened.
But also it's garbage. Like it wasn't even hot takes. We were just like rushing to finish because I just wanted to get to the airport and not have too much stress. Do you know what I mean?
Right. Okay. So now you're in Sweden, and so
I've been in Sweden. It's
right.
What time is it there?
It's like 11:20 a.m. in Los Angeles.
Is this too echoey in here?
I mean, listen, it's going to be janky audio, guys. We're just telling you, we're doing our best because we want to.
Here's your choice:
a fresh, hot podcast.
Do you want janky audio or do you want a fresh, hot pod? No, wait. That's not right.
What?
Do you want a fresh, hot pod and janky audio, or good audio and a lame podcast?
Right, exactly. So we think janky audio. We're just recording this on Busy's phone, and it from country to country. But the problem is that she had to go away from the room where she's staying with her child, and so now she's in a sauna area, and the choices are outside the sauna where there's a soundtrack of birds chirping, which would be weird. Inside the sauna where her phone will overheat. There's no possibility of just not turning the heat on in the sauna.
I mean, have you ever been to Sweden?
No, of course not.
Well, I mean, I don't think that there's a way to not turn the heat on.
Okay.
That's what the saunas are built to do.
Okay.
I could try to find someone and ask them to turn the music off. I was looking all around in here to see where the controls were for the stereo. Yeah. Because you can like control other things in this room.
Yeah.
But I cannot, for the life of me, figure out how to turn the music off in here. I turned the lights on and off. I found the water. There's a hot slab that I can lie down on.
What time is it in Sweden?
Oh, I mean, it's 8:21 at night.
Okay. All right.
Dag.
I mean,
hot slab.
I can't hear the music too much. The only problem would be is if it's like some copyright and someone was able to search it and pull it down.
Like, honestly, I would be like, good for you.
Like a litigious spa music producer.
It does seem unlikely. It does seem unlikely.
Okay. Well, we can do it there. Because we don't want your phone to overheat. That would be the end of all of this.
Well, that's true. Anyway, I guess I could also just go back up into my room, but Birdie will be annoyed because the podcast that we had recorded that was kind of garbage, we did so right before I was leaving to go to the airport. And Birdie was like so anxious to get to the airport and was like, why do you have to do your podcast all the time? And I was like, no, I get it, but I'm just going to do it so that I don't have to do it in Sweden. But then the last few days, I'm like, that podcast was garbage. I can't put that into the world because it's just like some weeks I'm like, I don't know what this podcast is, but whatever, shrug emoji, we tried. This week I was like, did we try? Did I try? Or should I just say to Caissie, like, I'm going to go down, lie on a hot stone slab and FaceTime, and hopefully this music won't be too distracting. Should I go ask one of the people that works here?
I mean,
if they can turn it off? Maybe.
If you want to.
Can you hear it?
I don't think I can really hear it, but when you lay down, your voice is very echoey because of the stone, I think.
All right. I won't lie down. I'll sit.
So, yeah. So, I mean, we can just go forward and see what happens.
Yeah, we can do a little bit at least.
Yeah.
I mean, at least, here's what I'm going to say. Like, we did talk on the original Garbage Pod about Julia Fox because Tina Fey had sent me that. I mean, the music can't be louder than that plane landing on your house.
No. You know that my backyard is the Burbank Airport.
I do know that now. Yeah. Well, they changed the flight. They changed the flight path. Did you read that article?
Yes. And it really has been a lot fewer planes, but I think they did specially arrange to have them go over when we're recording a podcast.
Well, you know what I say. The saboteurs are everywhere.
Yes.
And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if someone had some taps on us and was just, I don't know, sending those planes,
Watching
rerouting
the
the planes. like that kid that knows when Elon Musk's plane is flying.
It's true. I have the luxury of never thinking anything is about me. Is that a luxury? Even when things are sometimes. So I would never assume that. So even if that's why I could never be like someone powerful, because I wouldn't be looking out for saboteurs. I would be like totally blindsided by saboteurs. I
mean, to be fair, I'm consistently blindsided by saboteurs. But that doesn't mean that I don't think that they're out there waiting to get us. So yeah, I'm in Sweden. It's 8-something at night. We've been here for over 48 hours. No, not over. Almost 48 hours, I guess.
Yeah.
We had the craziest thing. You get my close friends' Instagram stories. Did you see them?
Yes. Yeah.
Well, you guys, sorry, but guess what? I do post close friends' Instagram stories to all you out there. And I know you're like, but we're close friends. And that's true. But also sometimes my child is like, you can't post that for everyone that follows you. You have to just do your close friends.
Yeah. And it's also just FYI, a lot of people are sometimes shitty to you when you post things, and they, everyone has an opinion and that's fine. But sometimes you post a fairly innocuous thing, or sometimes maybe even controversial, but then you have to deal with the fallout of, 2 million people sharing their thoughts on how you did something that they wouldn't have done or whatever. So,
I utilize the close friends
at times.
Button.
Yes.
At times, not all
rarely.
the time.
Some people really
rarely
abuse it. Yeah. Some people really, I'm like,
well, because I don't know about you, but if I see that green ring on someone's thing, I'm immediately like, ooh, close friends, click. I want to know.
Yes. And
right?
then, and then if it's just a duplicate of a photo that they already posted, I'm like, what's happening? You're abusing the close friends.
Lame.
You made
me. Lame. No, but I'll do stuff with my kids that's just for people that I really know IRL.
Yeah.
And so anyway, I posted these stories, but now I'm just going to tell you about them. But you listen to the podcast, so you're another level.
Yeah, you're like
close friend.
Yeah,
because there's yes, there are tiers, I guess.
Yes,
I mean there are tiers.
Yes,
and then there are tears.
Yes,
but anyway, so
tears with eyes and tears from eyes.
With E and tears from eyes. Oh, very good, very good. So anyway, I posted some close friend stories of Birdie and my journey to Stockholm, which was truly wild because we flew Finnair direct from New York to Stockholm, and the plane was basically empty.
Yes.
We were in business class. It was just a 2-class plane, so they call the front of the plane business, right?
Yeah.
And
lost you. Okay. Hello.
Sorry, you know what I did?
What?
I pressed my AirPod.
Oh, it wasn't even the seas between us that made us get disconnected. It was just pressing.
No, not at all.
Yeah.
But anyways, it was so, and like when we bought the tickets, I remember thinking like, this is not that much money for like this overseas flight. Like I was like surprised by it.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I guess, COVID, etc.
Yeah.
It's the middle of freaking winter.
Right.
Why is anyone coming to Stockholm except for us? So anyway, but yeah, we get on the flight and the flight attendants point us to the front cabin. We go and it's like, it looks like an, first class or whatever, business class cabin with the lie flat seats, which is like all I ever want when I fly a long haul flight because I just need to sleep. Obviously, jet lag already is like the worst bummer of all time. And the flight attendants are like, so these are your seats, but however, you are the only two people in all of business class. So you may sit wherever you'd like and you can move around if you want and you can eat whenever you want and you can have whatever you want to drink. And Bertie and I were like, this is so bizarre. But beyond that, I'm not even kidding you. I think there were like 20 people on the entire flight. There was like no one on the flight.
Oh,
it was weird.
Gosh, that's wild. And they still had
they still flew it and they didn't cancel it.
Well, I guess you can't really, but I feel like other businesses maybe do that. Like, like a college class. If nobody signs up for a college class, they're like, we're not doing this for 7 of you.
What are you talking about, Caissie? Since literally the year 2001.
Yeah.
You're not on a flight that's less than 70% sold ever. Like, and if your flight is, they cancel it. And then
I didn't know that. I thought they didn't.
Yes. No, that's what airlines do. They cancel the flights and then they like clump you in with other planes, other flights.
Right. I don't fly that much and I don't fly internationally hardly ever.
But this is like, I'm just saying like, this has just been the way that the airline industry has been since like the early 2000s. Yeah. Like after 9/11, which is like, if they didn't have enough crew or they didn't have enough, or they haven't sold enough seats, they won't fly the legs of the, whatever.
Yeah. It's really,
and then they'll just like book you on the next flight.
Huh. It's wild. Here's what I know about the airlines is that they've been, a lot of people that I know that were former flight attendants have gone back to work because the airlines have been offering them so much money, like a lot, like double or triple sometimes what they were making before, to attend to flights because, they have been so in need of flight attendants, which I guess because people are traveling more again. And, just observations that we've made that people have been behaving wildly on airplanes. But then I also just learned this week that flight attendants are not paid for the boarding process. They're only paid when the flight is in the air.
What? That doesn't make any sense.
I know. That's what I'm saying. So if you wonder like why, sometimes maybe you feel a little hustled or whatever, it's not just that they're trying to keep a schedule. It's that they're like doing the hardest part of the job for $0.
That's so weird.
Yeah. I read that.
I think that like everything is trash.
Yes.
You know what I mean? And like, I don't know. I just feel like, oof. Today I was talking with this guide that we had today who took us, Gabby. What's up, Gabby? And she took us, we went to go see like where they film Young Royals. And oh my God, Edvin Riding like DM'd me after, and the woman who's like the showrunner of Young Royals, and was like, oh, too bad you didn't stop by the set. And I was like, yeah, wait, where's the set? We'll come tomorrow. Like, what's happening? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
See, look, the sound is so much better in the sauna.
I know.
Ugh.
It'd be so good.
Now, I'll sit in here for 1 second, maybe.
Okay.
Maybe it'll just be better in here.
Guys,
Anyway,
just FYI, I'm gonna give you like the full experience on this. We're gonna lightly edit it, but every time like the phone slows down or whatever, because Busy's far away, but there's just not a lot we can do about it. So it's like Busy's FaceTiming you from Sweden as well.
It is like I'm FaceTiming you from Sweden, and also just like Sweden is amazing, and this hotel that I'm staying in is beautiful. And so anyway, we had that like really weird business class with no one in it.
Yeah, and I was thinking that everybody on the plane must have been so delighted, including the flight attendants, because it was a very easy boarding process, I bet.
Yes. But you know what? I probably shouldn't even. I don't know. I felt like, I felt like there were several non-uniformed military people on my flight.
Oh, that makes sense. That probably makes sense.
Does it?
Yeah, that might have been
because of the Ukraine.
Well, I don't know if because of the Ukraine, but just, depending on like what they're doing, but maybe that could have something to do with why they kept the flight and didn't cancel it. If like, because I know that
wait, you're so smart.
Don't military people get like military rates for flights and so
I don't know. I don't know anyone in the military really. I don't think. I'm not saying that like disparaging.
No, you just don't. It's just not your life. But yeah, I think so. So maybe that's why, because if military people were traveling some reason, I don't know if it's necessarily because of the Ukraine, not saying it is or it isn't, but
I got nervous that they were like secretly, my imagination goes wild. You know what I mean?
Well,
then I'm like, they're secretly flying. I go like all of a sudden, like I was like, I'm on the plane with Jason Bourne.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
They're doing a scout for the future conflict in the Ukraine.
Right. And it was like, well, also we're going to Stockholm. It's not far. Everything's pretty close.
Yeah.
That's what's crazy about Europe, guys. Everything is pretty close.
Relatively close.
But so anyway, we got here. It's been fun. I had another weird one of those like sliding doors / moments of like 2 years ago exactly and today. Brody was too jet lagged this evening to go out to dinner. And we like had been out most of the day, like sightseeing.
Uh-huh.
And so then, by the way, just like randomly was like, I wonder if my Uber Eats account will work here and if they have Uber Eats. And guess what?
It totally does.
Yeah. So Bertie was like, I was like, what do you want? And when you're jet lagged, like how you just like want certain food.
Yeah, I always want certain food at any time. Oh, now I can really hear that music.
I know, it's so annoying. I don't know what to do. Anyway, so Bertie was like, I really want a Nutella pizza. And I'm like, a Nutella pizza? Where the fuck am I going to find a Nutella pizza? So I just put it in to the Uber Eats thing. As you do. Popped on up. And then I was like, I can't just feed this child Nutella pizza for dinner. So then I was like, can I get you like a regular pizza as well? And you have like some of that too.
Yeah.
And Bertie was like, yeah, pepperoni. I'm like, okay, fine. And then I was riding up in the elevator and I was like, oh my God. And I took a screenshot of it. And sure enough, February 15th, 2020, me in an elevator holding a Nutella pizza and a pepperoni pizza, bringing it back to Bertie in the hotel room in London. I was in London, obviously. You guys know this.
That's so wild.
And that was exactly 2 years ago. Tonight, I know.
Oh my
God.
God.
An hour, well, I'll look at the timestamp. I know. Should
What
I get on
if
this like elliptical or something?
sure? What if Birdie wrote all of everything down and is just messing with you?
I mean, 100% totally possible.
Is like repeating everything that they wrote in their journal just to freak you out.
I mean, that wouldn't be surprising to me at all.
That would be an excellent long game prank if Birdie did that.
I mean, Birdie's kind of a genius, so I would not put it past them.
Guys, you know I've said it before. Listen, I was eating nachos today. That's right. But you know what I love? You know what I love? I love Sakara.
Yes.
I love Sakara because I love having the reset, because Sakara helps me not just live a healthy, balanced life, but really, I truly enjoy it. The food is so delicious, plant-rich meals, functional wellness essentials that really build a foundation for radiant health. And I like to have a balance in my life. Sakara is a wellness company anchored in food as medicine, on a mission to nourish your body through the power of plants. It is delivered directly to your door. It gives you all the tools you need to transform your life with their organic, ready-to-eat meal delivery program and their functional wellness essentials with powerful plant-based ingredients. And the breakfasts, lunches, and dinners are delicious. And they boost your energy, support your digestion. It's one of my favorite things. You know, we've talked about it before. I've had it, like, I go back to it time and time again. I don't even read the rave reviews from Vogue, Goop, and the New York Times. I don't need them because I have my own rave reviews. And I'm giving it to you. You guys should try it. You should try it. Just try it. Right now, Sakara is offering our listeners 20% off your first order when you go to sakara.com/busy or enter code busy at checkout. That's Sakara, SAKARA.com/busy to get 20% off your first order. Sakara.com/busy. Okay, guys. So listen, obviously you go to the OBGYN for your annual checkup and you get swabbed, but a lot of people forget about checking in with their fertility. And it's often a thing that people don't do until they're thinking about kids. And then they're like, oh, wait, what? And everybody knows how to prevent pregnancy, but what if you want to plan for it? Well, here's what I'm going to say. What if I told you could get important fertility insight without going to the doctor or even leaving home? I mean, knowledge is power. When you know more, you can make better decisions. That's where modern fertility comes in. Modern fertility was created as an easy, affordable way to test your fertility hormones at home with a simple finger prick. You mail it in with a prepaid label and you get your personalized test results within 10 days. Here's why I like it. I am done having children, but I got insight into my hormone levels and my ovarian reserve, aka how many eggs you have compared to other women your age, and other important fertility factors. It's just information. Knowledge is power. We know this. The results go deep into what every hormone means, and you can talk one-on-one with a fertility nurse to review your results and options for next steps. Traditional testing with your doctor can be very, very expensive, over $1,000. But modern fertility gets you the same information at $159. It's just a fraction of the price. And if you go to modernfertility.com/best, you can get $20 off your test. Right now, Modern Fertility is offering our listeners $20 off the test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. That means your test will cost $139 instead of the hundreds or even thousands it could cost in the doctor's office. Get $20 off your fertility test when you go to modernfertility.com/best. modernfertility.com/best.
But wait, also, it's so funny. One of my friends, Caissie B. Caissie. What's up, Caissie? We went on this like European trip, Christine and Kate and I, when we were in high school.
Yeah.
We were 15. I think Kate was 16, but I hadn't turned 16 yet. Anyway. And Christine was like cleaning out some stuff the other day and sent she had found like slip from a hotel that we had stayed at. And it was like somebody had left word for us. and it was from our teacher. And it was like and it was our teacher's name. And then it was to the party girls in room 272. and then the message was in all caps, call me as soon as you get in. Because I think that we had like gone out partying and we were not supposed to.
Oh my gosh.
She was on to us. And so she just was like, absolutely not, party girls. Like, so did I tell you about that? Like how weird that trip was? Because it was like, I kind of wrote about it a little bit in my book.
Yes.
But it was like that student travel trip. And it was supposed to be like, it was supposed to be our high school group and then like 2 other high school groups. And it was our high school group and 1 other high school group from Indiana. And then a group of like senior citizens accidentally got put in. And
I think you mentioned that one time.
I have. Yeah. And like, the more I think about it, the more I'm like, it's such a movie waiting to happen. It's so insane. Like these say the word.
Octogenarian.
Octogenarian. What? That was so weird. I couldn't say it for a second. My brain just like completely shorted out. Octogenarians, like with these teenagers, you know, like on a bus driving like 7 different cities in Europe in like 3 weeks. And they learn from, you know, the kids learn from that, but who learns from who? Whatever. I don't know. You guys, you work on the tagline. All I'm saying is that like, I do think it's a good movie.
Senior Trip is the name of it.
Obviously, it's called Senior Trip. Caissie, it's Caissie, and it's sold. We've just sold it now to Reese Witherspoon. Reese Witherspoon actually turned it into an NFT, and we sold it. And it's I believe we just made $7 billion. So that's awesome, Caissie. Congratulations!
Good job. Good job.
I'm so proud of you. I'm just so proud of you, really. You know what I'm proud of? I'm proud of us, and I'm proud of
we did it together.
Us. Yeah, and like sticking to our dream and our vision, and just like the creative process, you know, and just like really keeping creativity at the forefront of this mission. Yeah, and the community, and you know, and like
and quality control.
And quality control, and just being a part of the community, and like finding things that just like reflect us back to us.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Like, because you know what? At the end of the day, Caissie, do you know who my muse is at the end of the day?
Your muse is you.
My muse is Julia Fox. I don't know what the fuck you're talking about.
Yeah, so you were saying Tina had sent you this clip of Julia Fox talking about like her boyfriend, Kanye West. And so we talked in the old garbage pod that you'll never hear.
We're going to post it. Don't you worry about that, guys. Oh, we're posting that shit. No, nothing goes to waste. Not here. This is like, that podcast has already been turned into an NFT, and Paris Hilton holds the URL for it. And
we're using every part of the animal. But we talked about how this interview that she gave that Tina must have texted to you, where she's just like talking about how she and Kanye call each other boyfriend and girlfriend, but they never really had the conversation, and how she's been
the interview's wild.
Muses to multiple people. But then because it was pre-recorded, like by the time we even had like loaded it up to edit that podcast, Kanye and Julia had broken up. So,
but also like what's so wild is like just the trajectory of it. And then like immediately 2 seconds later, she's on the cover of the Cut magazine with the headline, Julia Fox is her own muse. And like, I'm like, who's her PR team, A?
Yeah.
And like, B, well, that's like a whole new level of Gretchen Mol on the cover of Vanity Fair as Hollywood's new it girl. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And that is such a deep cut that if you don't know what I'm referencing there, you're gonna need to do your own research. You just have to do your own research on that. But
yeah,
like,
it's interesting. She's a hustler. Like
she's a hustler, baby, which I respect. I respect a hustle. I
she
definitely
said that
respect a
about
hustle.
herself, that she's like a number one hustler. And so that, but like kudos, as we used to say, as our friend Paul F. Tompkins says, kudos to her and the PR team for like one day talking about being in a relationship and with a very famous person and being amused to some very famous people, to like the next day being on the cover of The Cut post relationship, maybe 2 days later, to be fair.
It was, but from the time that it took me to fly to Sweden, but I still have jet lag. Like I'm still jet lagged.
Yeah, it's all over.
It was so fast that like I'm not even over my jet lag yet.
And she's like over the Kanye. She said,
and when I left America, I was like, I was in my headspace. If you had asked me, not that I would say like, oh, that's Kanye West's new muse.
Right.
/ girlfriend.
Yeah, that's what the information that you had.
But I was just going on the information that she gave me.
Yeah.
Because via the internet. Also, like, I mean, bless, like it really goes to show you what like a wildly patriarchal like culture we live in, that literally dating someone who's very, very famous. Because it doesn't really go both ways. Like, I still don't know Miranda Lambert's hot cop's name. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, yeah, it's true. Well, but is that a function of like how famous Miranda Lambert is? Like, we know.
Well, I know her. Who?
Yeah.
Okay, who's like a super famous woman who's like married to?
It's like, I mean, we've obviously known every single one of Taylor Swift's boyfriends because the press has loved that. But well,
I don't know if Birdie wasn't the super fan that they are of Taylor Swift. I don't know if I would know Taylor Swift's current boyfriend's name.
Right. Well, it hasn't been the same, like the fervor of press around her, but like I do know. I was gonna say that I think you might know if somebody was like
Lady Gaga
famous. I don't know.
Lady Gaga. Who was Lady Gaga dating? Who was Lady Gaga engaged to? I don't remember that guy's name.
It was someone who was like somebody, but I can't remember.
Yeah, he was like on like not Reno 911, like Chicago 911 or Chicago paramedics to the rescue, or Chicago. We're in Chicago and lots of bad things happen. So we have hunky guys that solve it. What is it? What are those shows called? Chicago Heat, Chicago Fire, Chicago Fire. He was on Chicago Fire. You guys, it took me such a long walk to get there, but I think it was Chicago Fire.
But I can't remember his name. And then I was thinking, like, I know Adele has a really handsome, nice boyfriend.
Who's rich, very rich.
Yeah, but I don't know his name. I know.
Is his name Rich? Wait. No, I'm not kidding. I'm not kidding. Is his name? I think. Wait. I think his name is Rich Paul.
Oh, maybe. That's a good.
I think his name is literally Rich.
Mnemonic device. I know that Ariana Grande was recently married.
Yeah, don't know who that guy is.
He's a real estate agent, and they seem very happy. Yes, Rich Paul is Adele's boyfriend. He's a sports agent, an American sports agent. So anyway, good remembering on Rich.
Well,
but you're right.
Be honest, though. Wait, full disclosure.
What?
I know someone else in LA who dated him a while ago.
Oh, okay.
So that's kind of unfair because that was in my brain space. Because another, like a friend of mine who had dated him.
But I think what you're saying holds up. I think we don't often know the significant and important others in someone's in a very famous woman's relationship, but we often know the woman on a man's arm.
Yeah, 100%.
Interesting. I
Also-
wonder why that is. I mean, patriarchy, yes, but like, I wonder.
Because women are seen as prizes.
Maybe. Yeah, maybe that's it. And also maybe it's just like, you know, when Dorothy goes to Oz and they like all the people in Oz start primping her up in preparation to meet the wizard. Like maybe that's what happens when a woman starts dating like a famous guy, is that everybody's like, we have to make this woman more famous. So that she's like,
because he deserves that.
yeah.
This is what I'm saying, because he deserves that, right?
That's why everybody loves a movie where like a super famous guy just like dates a regular girl, like fictional super famous guy.
Like Win a Date with Tad Hamilton?
Yes. Did you watch the show Starstruck?
Nope.
Oh my God, it's so funny and so good. It's not.
What is it? Is it new?
It came out for me. It came out for me. That's how I say things. It came out during the pandemic, and I watched it twice because
Notting Hill, right?
Yeah,
like that's like,
Starstruck is a millennial in London juggling two dead-end jobs and navigating the awkward morning after the night when she discovers the complications of accidentally having a one-night stand with someone who's very famous, a film star that she didn't realize was a film star. But it's
that's the Notting Hill.
Yes.
That is literally Notting Hill.
It's so good. But this show, Starstruck, highly recommend if you haven't seen it. It's very, very funny and charming and lovable.
I mean, all right, I'm in. I'll watch it.
The lead woman, whose name is sorry. It's so obnoxious when I Google things on, I believe it's pronounced Rose Matafeo. She's Jessie. She's the lead character, and she's so good. I highly recommend.
All right, maybe I'll go watch that with Birdie now, because we finished the Hunger Games 4 movies, and this is the one thing that I have to say. Like, Birdie is so funny because, like, it's not like they're not like other teens. Like, they get into things that were popular like years ago.
Yeah. Oh, my kids were like that too.
Maybe that is actually what being a teenager is like now, just because everything is available all the time to you. Yeah. So like, you don't have to watch something the minute it comes out or listen to something the minute the album drops. Like, you actually have time. You've got time to like discover.
So luxurious because they have the benefit of what's coming out now, plus all the back catalog of everything. So my older son wasn't so much like that. He just, he actually didn't consume a ton of media. But my younger son, who's like a huge pop culture fan, he was very much like that. Like, he would just get into something and consume it. He still is like that. Like, he's watching The Sopranos right now, which it seems like a lot of people are doing a rewatch of The Sopranos. The one thing I will say that was like the most fun period for me, speaking of Ben McKenzie, who we brought up, is that I watched The OC when it first came out, because like I just watched it as a fan, and then when they were like tweens, they stumbled into watching The OC and they were like, this show is amazing. So we did like a complete rewatch of The OC as a family, and it was delightful, and it remains like a very pleasant memory for my entire family.
Oh my God, B. Oxford sent me a text. Kelly's daughter sent me a text, and it's a TikTok of my character from Dawson's Creek. And it's like, I don't know. It's just like this like quick cut TikTok thing. I have never seen myself in that way. I refused to do that like Ting Ting's lame thing. Like, I thought that was so lame, but like
that's not my name.
No shade to literally every actress in Hollywood that did it, but like, it just was, it's not for her. You know what I mean?
Guys
like, it's
don't
just not
know,
for her.
they
know. Just
they
don't
might
even
not
say
know.
no.
They might.
They know.
Busy. Let me tell them. There's a song there's a song by the Ting Tings called That's Not My Name, where every actor was doing like a meme where they would say, you know,
A TikTok. It wasn't
a TikTok.
a meme. It was like a reel or a TikTok.
Some people did it on Reels, whatever, because they don't have TikTok. But where they would be like, you know, put text on the screen while the song was playing saying, you know, my name is Busy, but sometimes they call me, and then clips of all their past roles with the names.
Of the characters
that they had played. And some people did it very sincerely, and some people made a joke out of it, as always. But anyway, so that's what Busy didn't do it. She refused to do the ting ting.
Refused. It wasn't even a consideration. I was never going to do it. That wasn't even like, it wasn't like I was refusing a thing that people were like, you should really do this. No one was even asking me to do it. I didn't.
No one was
not
clamoring for it.
But that's the other thing. Like, no one asks anyone to do any of these things, right? And that's the trick of social media.
My friend Lauren Ashley Smith, who is one of the producers, executive producer of a Black Lady sketch show, she was cataloging everyone on Instagram. She was cataloging which celebrities were doing the "It's Not My Name" meme, and it was very humorous to me. I always wonder, it's a chicken or egg situation. I wonder if it's a social media person working for the person saying, you have to do this, everyone's doing it, and they're like, okay, whatever, you do it and throw it up there. Or if it's like a celebrity begging a social media manager, being like, we have to do this, everyone's doing it, I gotta stay current.
I think it's like most things. It's like it's a mixture of both of those things. Like, I don't know who came up with the idea, like, but I think then it gets like going, or, you know, maybe they sent it to a few other friends.
Yeah.
And we're like, will you guys do this? I'm trying to make something happen. But also, it's like, to what end, you guys? I don't know. And like, to me, it just seems so weirdly braggy, where it's like, I've been this beloved character, like I've been a beloved character in like 4,000 different things. And it's like, just became like a weird, like just use IMDb, guys. Like, it's just so weird to me. Like, I don't know. It was like a new way that actresses could like brag about how rad they are. Sorry, I sound so bitter, but I just like, it annoyed the fuck out of me. It just was like, it felt so lame and like.
Do you want to know, the trend took off on TikTok in January 2022 and attracted celebrities, including Alicia Silverstone, Drew Barrymore, The Rock, and Kevin Chamberlain, among others.
Who's Kevin Chamberlain?
I was wondering that myself, but I was just going to pretend like I knew who that was, but I'm sure I'd recognize Kevin Chamberlain if I saw them.
Are you?
Yeah, I mean, probably. I'm looking this up on knowyourmeme.com, which is where, whenever you wonder where something came from, often knowyourmeme.com knows. It is unclear who started the trend. One of the earliest examples was uploaded to TikTok on January 15th, 2022 by TikToker Golden Bash 7, where they showcased their puppy's name, then all the other names they call her over That's Not My Name. And it gained 3.2 million views in 3 weeks. So it had a cute origin, and then one of the first celebs to take part in the trend was Alicia Silverstone, and she got 1.1 million views on hers in 2 weeks. But the puppy still beat her.
Okay,
but
that sounds good.
It's always funny to me because like sometimes I'm like you. I have such a sour take on people doing things like that. But then I'm like, oh, they're just having fun. Who gives a shit?
Well, here's what I'm saying. Like, you know how I was screaming, whatever it was last week. I don't remember when. Like, I don't believe anything. Like, I think everything is a trick. Like, that's that's the kind of thing where it's like, I feel like this is a trick. And I just am like, I feel like I don't know what the trick is. And even, I guess, the like Julia Fox, the Cut magazine, Julia Fox is her own muse, the interview that she gave on the podcast, like that came out like 5 days ago, like all of it seemed to me like a trick. You know what I mean? And like, it's not that I'm not envious of the savviness that some people, I guess, have that are able to like perpetrate these tricks on us. But I just also a little bit, I'm like, it's making me hate kind of like everything. And I don't want to partake in it. Like, I just don't want to be a part of it. And so if something seems like a trick at all, I just want to like steer clear and I guess move to Sweden, I guess is what I'm saying.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. I mean, the moving to Sweden part doesn't make any sense because I think that's
whatever,
you know,
it's fine.
It's just like, well, I mean, we've all done this before, right? Where we're like idealize a place and then we're like, oh, it has all the same problems and like, you know, you're still.
It doesn't have all the same problems. I think every place in the world in this moment has a myriad of very intense issues.
Right.
Many of which stemming from the same sort of global issue, which is honestly climate change, which is causing like an increase in violence, an increase in like famine and hunger and, you know, creating like more refugee situations.
Yeah. And then
all across the board.
White supremacy is like,
and then white supremacy as a response to that. Right. And like racism and, you know, the idea that like you are better than someone else simply because of where your mother happened to give birth to you.
Right. Yeah.
Which is like, that's bonkers.
Yeah.
You know,
like
there by the grace of God, I was, you know, Oak Park Hospital in Oak Park, which by the way, all of it really ties into the Hunger Games because, you know, if you're born in District 12, you fucked is all I'm going to say, you know?
Yeah. If Bird loves the Hunger Games, have them watch Battle Royale too. That's a really
yeah. I
know
watched
that one?
Battle Royale years ago. Yeah. But you know the one I loved that predated Battle Royale was this indie movie called Series 7 that came out in
Brooke Smith.
The late 90s. Brooke Smith. And Brooke Smith, who, guys, if you don't know who Brooke Smith is, she was on Grey's Anatomy later. But in her earlier career, she was the girl in the pit in Silence of the Lambs. Yes.
And she was also the daughter of Rosie O'Donnell's publicist, Lois Smith. That's where I
tie it all together.
That's where I first knew her from.
There's like this like sort of like real low budge indie movie called Series 7 that was probably just like right at the start of reality shows. I think it was like late 90s, early 2000s. And it was about a reality show in the United States where people got picked and they had to like hunt one another and murder one. I mean, it literally is, it's the same as Battle Royale or Hunger Games or whatever.
Yeah.
It was like super intense.
Yeah. Anyway, all these dystopian. I feel like I'm kind of over dystopian entertainment because the world is so dystopian right now. Like I feel like it's not far from the truth.
No, it's not. That was like really kind of weird and gross watching Hunger Games for me because I never saw it or read it.
Right.
I'm just that weird age where I like missed a lot of things that other people loved because my kids were too young and I was too old. And like, I just didn't.
Yeah, it happens.
Like, it happens.
Like my kids missed the Harry Potter boat. They're too young for Harry Potter and they just never got on board the train to Hogwarts. And now it's fine because, you know.
Canceled.
Yeah. What is she though? Is she?
I don't fucking know. I'm not even paying attention to her. She's an asshole.
Listen, guys, you know we talk about mental health and well-being on this pod a lot. I think it's one of the things that Caissie and I feel very strongly about. And learning how to manage your daily stress and anxiety is something that a lot of people want to do, and many people don't know where to even start. Enter Noom Mood. They're here to guide you to mental wellness and give you tools. I think tools are like the best. I think that's the best thing you can get, especially when we're talking about feeling good mentally. You'll feel empowered to take on whatever life throws at you. What do you like about it, Case?
I just feel like it's really easy to use. So you take this mental wellness journey just one step at a time. They have a guided approach. It teaches you the power of shifting your mindset, and it's just a couple minutes a day. So if you've been thinking that this is an area in your life that you need to work on, this is a really, really easy way to do it.
Yeah, I like this too. I mean, I think that it helps you to feel sort of like less stressed, and you know that you're doing something daily that's helping and giving you tools, right? And it's really convenient. It's like basically about 10 minutes a day. So you can do it whenever, wherever you are. And it's all backed by science. The lessons are based on psychological principles that teach you about your relationship with stress and anxiety.
Which affects everything, by the way. It affects your happiness while you're awake. It affects the quality of your sleep while you're asleep. It affects the quality of your work. Whatever you're trying to do, unnecessary stress or anxiety is just there, always hanging over your head. And this is a really good, simple way to get rid of it.
I mean, I also just think because it's an app, it's so easy and it's there for you anytime you need it, anywhere you need it. So guys, worry less and feel happier. Sign up for your trial at noom.com/best. That's noom.com/best. You can sign up for your trial right now at noom.com/best. Caissie, we've talked about this before. And we're going to talk about it again.
Yes.
If I were to have to go on a date and I found out that the guy is like, doesn't really care about like reproductive justice.
That'd be
what
it.
a waste of time. What a waste of time.
It's a deal breaker.
It's a deal breaker. That is what it's called, a deal breaker.
Yeah.
But also it's not something that people like lead with. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So it's like, it is difficult. Like, what if you're dating someone for like a few weeks or something and then they're like, oh yeah, by the way, like, no, yeah, I don't care. I think it should just be up to like states to decide.
Yeah. And
what?
then you're in
Get
it.
out of here.
Yeah.
And you're brokenhearted.
It's a lot. It's a lot. Getting out there and meeting your person is hard enough without worrying about all these little surprises that are going to pop up along the way.
Well, let me tell you something. I was so impressed when I heard about this. OkCupid is like, no, you never have to deal with that again. OkCupid not just finds people you're most compatible with. The app learns what's important to you by asking you questions. And then the app's one-of-a-kind algorithm pairs you with people that care about what you care about, like puppies or reproductive justice. And it's the only dating app in the world that lets you filter out people that don't care about the issue you care about.
Yeah, you just want to know that you're with a like-minded person who cares about and enjoys the similar things, compatible things. So I think this is really the way to go. If I was a dating woman, I'd be very excited to get started on OkCupid.
Listen, I mean, it would be the only way I would do it. That's it. I wouldn't be able to do it any other way.
Everyone who's listening, go on OkCupid right now. Join right now because we want to hear your stories about guys that you're meeting and women and whoever you're meeting.
People. How about people?
Anyone you're meeting?
The people you're meeting. And please email us with your stories so that we can hear about them because that will make us happy.
We'd like to live vicariously.
OkCupid.com.
Yes. Download the app. It's time to find your person.
Yeah.
Get OkCupid. But so anyway, yeah, so we were talking about like the whole publicity game and like how, well, it's interesting because like the Kanye Julia Fox thing seems like it seems like something that would be fun to watch if it was a fictional drama. Like it's that fast paced. But like the fact that it's so fast paced and it's real life and like hour by hour.
Well, and that Kim Kardashian and Kanye have 4 children that are involved in this. And like that these are real people.
Yeah,
and
that they're real people. It's uncomfortable to.
She's dating a kid who like, I don't know him at all. You know, but like, I just like, it just all feels so messy and like wild and what's the word? It makes me feel like gross.
Gross. I mean, listen, like Pete Davidson feels like a kid, but he's actually a grown man. But
he's 28. 28 is not even 30. Do you know what I mean?
I totally know what you mean, but then I'm like, I'll see like a 14-year-old completely held responsible as an adult for something that they did, and then like a 40-year-old not being held responsible for anything that they did. So it's fucked up. But he's legally a grown man and she's a grown woman. And I don't begrudge anyone anything that's happening in their lives, but I just feel about it. Like I said, like if this was the OC, I'd be like, hot damn, this is a great episode. But it's the same reason that I feel weird about reality television, because I don't find trauma entertaining, and I don't find fear entertaining, and I don't find sadness entertaining. So it's kind of like I feel not at ease watching this unfold, because like if people were having this kind of like, if people were having a disagreement in a restaurant, I would want to move away from it. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. Has that ever happened to you?
Where people are having just like a huge fight in a restaurant? Yeah, I lived in New York City.
It happened like, I remember a couple years ago. I can't remember when, if it was before the pandemic or I can't remember, but it was in Charleston and we were sitting like sort of at the booth next to like a man and a woman. And he was like berating the woman in such a horrible way. And like, I felt paralyzed. Like I didn't know what to do. Do you know what I mean? And like,
yeah.
Well, I didn't do anything.
Yeah. Well, it's uncomfortable. And it's like, we've talked about this before, like where your sister sort of intervened and helped someone.
Oh, that's right. Wait, maybe we talked about my situation.
No,
maybe
I don't
this
think
happened
we did.
while we were doing a podcast.
Who knows? Whatever. I mean, one time, I probably talked about this before. One time we were like at the Christmas tree farm cutting down a Christmas tree. And like this family that looked like they could have stepped out of an LL Bean catalog, they just started berating one of their children, like their teenage daughter, so much that the entire fucking Christmas tree farm stopped sawing their trees to like turn around and look at these people. And like before I could really even say anything, my older son went over and like got in the doorway of the minivan and said to the kid, "Are you okay? Do you want to come sit with my family while you call someone to get you?" Because like he was just like, it was too much. I was like,
whatever the kid did,
it was too much, and it wasn't the right place. And they had her parents had totally lost the thread on like how to do this. You know?
Which, by the way, as a parent, can I just say but as a person, oh my God, Caissie, that's what this episode is. I thought it was, I'm my own muse, but it's really like, you got to find the thread. Like we have lost the thread as a nation, as a people, maybe even worldwide. Most people have lost the thread at this point, because I do know that feeling as a parent. And I've been thinking obviously a lot about my trip in 2020 to London with Birdie, and just how different that time in my life was, with everything. And how hard things were with Birdie, and how I felt like I had lost the thread.
Yes.
I literally
understand
flew the kid across the world. We were in LA for 2.5 days to try, because I thought it would make some sort of substantive difference in what was happening for them emotionally. And I mean, if that's not losing the thread.
Right. Well, think about it. I mean, okay, so to use that phrase, when you lose the thread, there's a couple things that can happen. You can lose the thread when you're desperate to do something. And that makes so much sense to me, that you're desperate on behalf of your child to change something for them. I've been in that position myself, you know?
I know.
But also there are times when you just lose the thread your own self about what it is that you're doing and how you think you're accomplishing something. And we've all been there too. Like everybody, I think everyone has had a moment where they've been so angry and so frustrated that they just see red, and and you're carrying too many things, and the first thing that you drop is the thread. And that's also always the theme of this podcast. Like, community is so important, because you need someone around you to be like, oh, you dropped that. You better put everything down and pick that one most important thing back up. You
do. But you also need someone who's going to be like, hey, you dropped that. And also look at me. It's okay.
Mm-hmm.
Because we can find it again. I will find it again with you.
Yes. And that's why I think so much about single parents in particular, because I was raised by a single parent, and just how when you're just trying to do life and do the things that you're doing as a parent, and you don't have the support that you need, how quickly you can get fucking pulled underwater, just how quickly. And so just the fact that whenever anyone has anything to say about a single parent, I'm like, just the fact that everybody is getting where they're supposed to be mostly every day and doing all the things that they're mostly supposed to do is basically like a fucking miracle, because nobody's more
totally.
Like we say about so many people have said during this pandemic, particularly, I just feel like this country said, oh, you're on your own. You're on your own. Sorry. And nobody has been more on their own than a single parent who's trying to keep not just themselves alive, but however many kids they have. And so there's that. But I also think about people that are just kind of on their own and don't feel like they have a support system. And so that's something that's really important to me. And I think about it a lot. And I think about well, how do we fix that?
Right. So listen, I posted a thing I don't know when, last week, about how Birdie hadn't turned in their Hunger Games paragraphs, multiple paragraphs on the Hunger Games, but that their English teacher was being pretty cool about it. Just you have to do this work, but I understand this is a hard time. And I do think that what I've heard and what I know to be true, I just know it to be true, that people all over the country are feeling that thing. And especially teachers, and especially healthcare workers, and especially people who, are operating under a regulated business or system or whatever, that hasn't made any concessions for the trauma of the last 2 years.
Yes.
Those people are feeling totally left to they've not only lost the thread, someone let go of the thread. And so they're actually holding a thread, but the thread goes to nowhere. Right. And a lot of people commented on my Instagram, well, that must be nice. Your kid is probably in a private school. I would love it if the school I worked for, or the school board, or the blah, 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 whatever, was able to help us, because more teachers are leaving their positions than ever before. we know more healthcare workers are leaving their positions. Like people are like, we're fucking out. Like, I'm not doing this anymore because there's no sense of support and no sense of community, and like banging, pots and pans at 6 p.m. every night for like 3 months is like fine. But, where's the help after the fact, and the support and the mental health support for all of these people? And also like the change in structure of like the way that things used to be, like it just doesn't work anymore, given what everybody's been through and where we're at now.
Right.
And I think that while like on a very macro level, like when I'm here and like talking to this woman today, Sweden has an incredible like living wage situation here. People are taken care of. They have like, you get like a year and a half paid paternity or maternity leave.
Right.
Come on.
Yeah.
And then in addition to that, starting at 1 year old, it's like affordable childcare for every kid.
Right.
Like this, it's like there's a lot that is taken into consideration in terms of like supporting people here and helping them to live their best lives. But the guide was telling me today that they were having like a major issue with elder care in Sweden.
Yeah.
And that it's like one of the lowest paying jobs here. And so people don't want to do it. And I was like, that is, again, because, we went through this a couple months ago. I talked about it. Like elder care in the States too, is we're not valuing the right things in our society and in our culture, says the girl who gets paid too much to pretend to be a pop star on television. But like, we just aren't. Like, I mean, at least, I don't know. I mean, I can justify whatever. We all should be getting paid more money. That's the bottom line. I mean, not me. I'm fine. But I just mean that like, we need to figure out a way. I don't know. How do we do it? See, look, I just lost the thread.
It makes sense that people would sort of take a step back, because for so long we've been underpaying teachers and being like, use your resourcefulness, use your creativity. By the way, we're going to be up your ass about every single thing you teach and how you teach it, because we need kids to hit these test benchmarks. And like, what good does that do? Like, what kind of an education is that for a kid? Like, nobody knows what a kid knows better than their parents and their teachers. And we've put parents and teachers at odds, because teachers are dealing with a frustrating situation and parents are dealing with the fallout of that frustrating situation and feeling like their child's needs aren't being attended to, like as an individual person. Like I used to always tell my son, who had like, some issues in school, like school is like a bicycle factory and you are a violin. And so like the machines that they have in place there aren't made to make or fix violins. And so you can either go there and just deal with how everything doesn't fit the right way, or we can try to figure something else out that's tailored more to you. But that's a hard situation, because school is such a part of our culture and part of like just our society. Like,
okay, wait. So, but here's what I think, though. Here's the thread that I think I was trying to put through the fucking eye of the tiniest
yes,
eye of a needle.
I want to hear.
Okay. I think that because my friend Sarah Sophie Flicker posted this thing, I don't know, but the thing was like, we have an opportunity to like actually deliver on the promise of not letting this all be for naught and like building a better society. Right. And then I DM'd her and I wrote, yeah, but how? Like, you know what I mean? Like, obviously, yes, but how do we do that? And so, like I was saying, like, I can see the big picture is like super, super overwhelming, right?
Yeah.
And so I think we have to like just literally think very, very small.
Right.
And I think that we all, like everybody listening to this, has a way that they can start to think really, really small about how to make changes that can ultimately like butterfly effect, not the Ashton Kutcher movie. Is that a horror movie?
The Butterfly Effect?
Yeah. Do you remember that movie?
I just remember, what am I holding in my hand? It's a chapstick. And that, I just remember the commercial.
Is that a line from that movie?
I think so. And it made me laugh
That's
so hard.
insane. That's actually insane. Also insane. And I know I'm not in like I don't want to be like just talking shit, but like, did you watch the preview for the Ana de Armas and Ben Affleck Tour de Force movie?
No.
The like teaser. Wait, Caissie.
No, I have to watch
Oh
it.
no, I have to wait. I'm just going to text it to you right now.
Okay. I'm so out of it. I'm so out of
Well,
like what
no, you're
movies
not.
are.
No, you're not. This isn't a real movie. Let's be, you know what I mean? This is some movie that's on Hulu.
Okay.
And I guess it's like Where They Met.
Oh, okay.
And it is, when I say this is one of the stranger, more bonkers things I've ever watched, it is so strange. Like, doesn't look great.
It's interesting. I mean, and I think they're going to be hard pressed to do press for it.
Oh my God.
Like,
what
they're
do you
not
think is going to happen? No, they'll have. Well, I bet you he'll bail. She'll do it. She'll have to do it, right? Maybe neither one of them will do press for it. It looks so wild, and like also like as an actor, I just know the feeling of like when you're doing something that like everybody thinks is really good, and then after the fact, it's almost like you're in like a fugue state, and then after the fact, you like get out on the other side of it, and you're like, oh no, that was not good. That was really bad.
Talking about doing things on a small scale, I think the only way to fix entertainment would be to have everyone do entertainment on spec. Like, I think you'd have to have a studio invest whatever in the making of something, and then everybody else does their work, understanding that they'll get a certain percentage of however much that thing profits in the end, and that's that. That's oversimplifying, but I just think that, because then, like, if people make a weird, wild movie, like if it's expensive, okay, then the investor takes a loss on it. If they decide not to promote it, okay, then that's on them. Then that's going to cut into their like speculative profits for whatever movie. But that would cut down on some of the ginormous paychecks that maybe are unearned in entertainment.
I'm 100% on board with this. 100%.
Am I going to be made
board.
the mayor of Hollywood and I'll be in charge?
Well, I left, so somebody's got to be the new mayor. You know what I mean?
ZocDoc. Let's get into it. No one knows what you're looking for in a doctor better than you. That is a fact. No one's better at giving you the tools to find the perfect doctor than ZocDoc. Caissie and I swear by it. You both using it before they even advertised on this podcast.
For years.
But now they do. And so it's a natural partnership. That's what it's called. A natural partnership, guys. Because ZocDoc makes it so easy to find and book a doctor that's right for you, who doesn't, and it doesn't need to be like a terrible experience. You'll know that they take your insurance. You know that they will be able to get you an appointment.
That they specialize in the thing that
they specialize in the thing that you need. I mean, with ZocDoc, you can focus on doctors in your network, and it's kind of just the greatest thing. ZocDoc is a free app.
Yes,
that shows you doctors who are patient reviewed, take your insurance, and are available when you need them. You guys, I don't even know what am I saying to you? You know what I mean? Like, how have you not already downloaded this?
I cannot stress to you how much we're all looking for things to make our lives easier. I can't stress to you how much ZocDoc makes your life easier. It's just one really stressful task you can cross right off your list when you need it.
Well, millions of people use ZocDoc, and we are two of them. And now we want you to go to ZocDoc. Go to ZocDoc.com/doingherbest and download the ZocDoc app for free. Then start your search for a top-rated doctor today. Lots of the doctors are available within 24 hours. That's ZocDoc, ZocDoc.com/doingherbest. ZocDoc.com/doingherbest. Truebill is the app that helps you identify and stop paying for subscriptions that you don't need, want, or simply forget about.
Yeah. Is your ex still using your Netflix? That's what one woman found out after she downloaded Truebill, which finds and cancels subscriptions with just a tap. Because companies make subscriptions hard to cancel, Truebill makes it incredibly simple. Just link your accounts and Truebill will cancel your unwanted subscriptions in one tap. They do it all for you. You don't even have to talk to anyone. Average users save $720 a year using Truebill. That's incredible. Truebill user Matthew B. says, in a matter of seconds, I saved $660 for the year on my DirecTV bill, saved $120 for the year on my SiriusXM bill, saved $840 a year on car insurance. That is wild.
Don't fall for subscription scams. Start canceling today at Truebill.com/best. Go right now, Truebill.com/best. It could save you hundreds a year. Truebill.com/best.
But like, okay, wait. So listen, but like, so we have to think like, I don't know what it is. If it's organizing, I don't know what we're doing, guys. I'm just saying we gotta start brainstorming. I think we have to start brainstorming.
Listen,
we're gonna throw out some bad ideas. Some things will be great. We just have to start.
The realist real talk is this. Rosie O'Donnell used to always quote this thing that now I've seen it on mugs and, I've seen it on posters or whatever, but it's about I don't even know that adage of somebody once was walking on a beach with all these sea stars were washed up on the beach.
It matters to this one. Yeah.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And you can't throw all the sea stars back. And so it doesn't matter, but it matters to the one that you get back in the water. Is an inelegant way. You'll find it said more elegantly on Etsy. But I think that's kind of what you're talking about.
And guys, it's a different metaphor than Jesus and the footsteps. Okay.
Yes.
Just so you know, because when I was little, I got the two conflated and I was like, I don't understand what starfish have to do with Jesus.
But it could be related. It could be related because let's assume it makes a difference to the one person that Jesus picks up and carries, and who knows, maybe Jesus has powers where he can carry more than one person, Groundhog Day style. Is Groundhog Day no, I don't know. I'm mixing up.
I don't literally see that we're off.
Yeah.
We've lost the thread.
We've lost the thread. But here's the thing that I will say. I just think that for the most part, what is really going to make a change is we know that money beyond a certain point, beyond having a certain point of wealth, that money doesn't actually make people more secure or satisfied or happy.
No, it makes them insane and try to push NFTs on you.
So I don't know exactly, but that's a thing. I think that's been proven. It's a caveat to money can't buy happiness. And then scientists and psychologists have studied and said, actually, that's not true. It can make you happy up to a point, but then there gets to a point of wealth where you can't be made happier or healthier by having more money. And so beyond that point, is like kind of extraneous. And there are people on this earth that have so much money beyond that point that they could never spend it in their lifetimes. They could never do enough things with it. And so I think like it really is just a matter of like people who have money giving money to people who don't have money. I just think that's what it is. And I think a lot of the things that like, it's so weird. Like this goes back to Rosie O'Donnell. And like, I think I worked with her when like 9/11 was happening. A lot of things happened during the time that I worked, a lot of like huge world events. And she was always being asked to participate in like a telethon or something, blah, 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 blah. And she always had the same question. Why don't we each write a check for $1 million instead of like, why do we have to do this show? Like where we're asking people who like worked 16 hours today to like make a donation. Why don't we all the people who are gonna like ask all these people, it'd just be so easy for us to each write a check for $1 million and we wouldn't even have to do this. And everybody would always be like, nah, not so fast like that. Let's not go wild, So she was always like, she had so many charities that she was involved with, including like, she had this thing called For All Kids Foundation, which was just a foundation to help children in need. And her stipulation was that it had to have zero overhead. No one could, it was all like 100% everything was going to the kids, including like all of the money that she was putting into it, but anything that corporations and other wealthy people were putting into it. So, so that really like shaped my idea of like what charity is. We've kind of talked about this before. Like it's great to like form a committee and to try to have a fundraiser, but it's kind of like bake sales, right? Like schools have bake sales all the time to like raise money for new uniforms for the football team. But it's like by the time you tell someone they have to go buy a box of cake mix and they have a mom has to bake a cake and then they sell it for like $7, that goes to the football team. Like it would have just been easier just to give the $7. And so I kind of
100%.
I kind of feel like a ton of philanthropy is sort of the same thing. And it's really about like the show and about like feeling like you're doing something. And like you have to cajole people into being entertained where they feel like, oh, like I'm here and I'm like showing off for other people. So I'm bidding in this auction or whatever the fuck is happening, or it's an honor to be asked to be an ambassador for this. It really just like, I don't know. We just don't have fucking time for that shit anymore. Just write a check. Write a check. But then that's hard because it like, well, talking about like all the conversations we've been having about crypto, it decentralizes something and it takes like leadership away. And then like people don't have like that joining spirit. But like, honestly.
But this is what I'm saying about like community. You know what I mean? Like, I do actually think there has to be also a way to peel it away, to peel away the layers like an onion, and to like figure out how to give both the community and togetherness, the community and the like, you are a part of a sum that has been missing in our culture and society. And also, but also the problem is like the super rich people, like the billionaires, they're not opening their pocketbooks. Do you know what I mean? Like Jeff Bezos ain't doing it. He's not willing to like part with he is like Gollum with the little, that's what happens.
Right.
It's like once you pass that point in wealth, like they do become like precious, like my precious hoarders, where they like, they have to keep going. They always think that there's like more that needs to be.
It hardly makes any sense. And like, here's how much it doesn't make sense.
It's so weird.
Not only are some of our wealthiest citizens not helping just people in general. They're not even paying the people that are helping them on a daily basis maintain their enormous wealth. So, they're not even paying them a living wage. They're not even keeping them safe. So whenever anyone tries to tell you about how a company is a family and how you have like some responsibility to like, show up for something for your shift job or whatever. Like I think we've gone through like a major awakening in this country where like when the pandemic happened, and this happened in entertainment too. I know people think like, oh, it's glamorous and it's a different situation. In entertainment, so many people who used to work behind the scenes on TV shows got sent home. And it was like, you're on your own. All the times we told you this was a family. And so that's why we stayed till 11 o'clock and like rack our brains to come up with entertaining shit. All the times that you missed a holiday because this is a family and we're all working together to make this art. Well, you don't kick out half your family when a fucking pandemic happens, but that happened to so many people in so many jobs that people were furloughed.
Well, I was going to say part of what's so complicated about, is this cool now that I'm in the lobby?
Now Busy's in the hotel lobby and there's also music happening.
And I'm wearing my robe and people are having fancy dinners, but I'm like trying to steal a Coke for Birdie. Just shh. Don't tell anyone I'm here. No. You guys, there's people literally eating fancy dinner.
And Busy's
right,
in like Busy's in a robe.
I'm in a robe. Well,
in the lobby of the hotel.
This hotel is so nice. Do you think that also like Sweden is very nice?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It is.
But it's also like there's like, I don't know, 1/7 of the population of like Los Angeles in the entire country here or something.
Right. And like I was reading that they have, an Islamophobia problem and that.
This is what I was talking to the lady about today, is that part of their recent rise in racism and Islamophobia, the racist ideology is people's belief that helping too many others is going to take away from their own children's futures or whatever. Do you know what I mean?
Right.
That there won't be enough to go around, I guess, that wasn't what she thought. She was just like explaining where the rise has come from.
Yeah, I totally, it's not dissimilar to the United States, even if it seems more prevalent here, and maybe that's like a function of the media, or maybe it's just more intense here and we're a more divided country. But yeah, Sweden also has an anti-Semitism problem, which, I think for me, it's been shocking to me to see here in the United States just how much not only anti-Semitism continues, but the sentiment continues to grow. And so to hear like that's happening in Sweden too really sucks.
It really sucks.
Yeah. And so I guess this is all like, yeah, a problem with trying to protect something that's not threatened.
Right. But this is like, all of us have to start to think critically about like how to solve these issues and not like expect someone else or a government or to be able to do it for us. Like we have to be the ones that are like, okay, so what does this mean? Like what? Oh my God, wait. I think it was Phoebe. Did I ever tell you this?
I don't know.
Abby, Mark's writing partner and directing partner, Abby's little kid Phoebe, who's now like a 16-year-old person. When she was a baby, she would like point at things, or you would be talking and she would say, "What's this means?" And so then it was like, like when you have like a baby in your life that says a thing or whatever, and then everybody around the baby starts to say that thing.
It becomes a catchphrase.
Yeah. It becomes a catchphrase. Well, I mean, famously, like the Olsen twins,
You got it, dude.
How rude. You got
Oh,
it,
that
dude.
was Jodie Sweetin.
But wait, what was
The twins were,
Yeah.
you got it, dude.
how
And-
rude? Oh,
How-
how rude was Jodie Sweetin?
Yeah.
Got it. Okay, got it.
Yeah,
got
yeah.
it. Did she say it even in Fuller House? Like as like a grown ass adult, did she say how rude? She
Oh,
must have,
You'd
right?
know better than I'm assuming,
I
yes.
didn't really watch it, but
I'm assuming, yes.
anyway, the point being that sometimes it will just pop into my head. What's this means? Because, and I'll just hear like baby Phoebe from 15 years ago being, saying, "What's this means?" But like, I do think that that's where the onus is on all of us to say, like, what's this means, and figure out ways of ending it.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple things I want to say about that. The first is that it's like when we're trying not to use plastic straws because we're like, we don't want to contribute anymore. But then you learn that like the amount of plastic we use in single-use plastics is so much smaller than the amount of plastics used by corporate America. And it's wild. And like what us changing all of our habits at home probably won't put a dent in what needs to be done. So that's like demoralizing. One, that's a really demoralizing situation. And then the other thing I wanted to say, I actually forgot what I wanted to say.
Caissie, did you lose the thread?
I lost the thread of what I was trying to say. But I'm sure I'll think of it. But that's a demoralizing situation.
What I was saying is like, when you look at like the global of it, like anti-Semitism is on the rise, like racist, like hate crimes and all these, like it feels like really big and overwhelming. And I'm not suggesting that like we don't put pressure on the people who are like leaders of the countries as well. But I do think that going really micro with it is important. Like, I do think that in communities that like sort of come together and show resolve to end a thing,
Right.
like they have, that works. Like that is proved, like it is proven that there is success in that, like, and that's why I'm saying that I too am overwhelmed very frequently with like the macro of it all,
Right.
Especially now,
Yes.
but I think that there is like, to tie into like what you so eloquently said a couple of weeks ago about how dangerous it is for people when they feel as though they don't belong and they really want to, and everybody really does want to belong to something.
Yes.
And how we need to like be able to help people find the thing like that they belong to in a good and healthy way. Like it has to go, you got to go small. We have to go small.
Yeah.
We can't do it. I was like, even looking at like our friend Nithya, who, ran for city council in Los Angeles and won, and it's been having a fucking hell of a time, like a beast of a time, because, well, I don't know. I've been looking at it and trying to figure it out. I mean, part of me thinks that it's like the pool is too large. Do you know what I mean? Like the amount of people, the space, like the problems are, again, it's like, it's almost just, it's too big. And on a smaller, like on paring it down and looking like smaller, like there's been lots of success that she's had in community organizing and people coming out to try to like help unhoused people, get help for drug addiction. I mean, it's just like it's very tricky.
It's
look,
it's tricky because, and it's still politics, right? So she has to compromise like her initial vision.
Right. She's still playing like a game of politics.
Right.
I guess what I'm saying is that like, maybe we start a cult.
Well, you made me think of the second thing that I wanted to say, which is, and I think it dovetails with what you were saying, is that we live in a capitalist society. And I think that we live in a capitalist country, but I think we also, for the most part, live in a capitalist society. And a lot of the things that we are talking about, taking care of the elderly, the gun control argument, right? Guns have a powerful lobby to make laws and to support the manufacture and the sale and the distribution of guns in our country. One of the reasons why anti-gun legislation, anti-gun anything is so difficult, in my opinion, is because there is no money attached to anti-guns. It's the negative of money. You're just arguing for there to be less of something that is like a chit in our capitalistic society. So you're arguing for, in a sense, less jobs, less things to buy, less things to sell. Being pro gun control is asking for less. So that has been. There are no products. There are no anti-gun products, really, besides, like, what are we going to sell? Bulletproof desks and backpacks? Sadly, yes, people have started to do that, but it's not powerful enough to compete with the gun lobby, you know? And by the way, bulletproof backpacks, in order to make money, they still need bullets.
And exist. Right. Yeah.
They still need that to exist. So to be in favor of less guns altogether, you're asking for our capitalist society to give up a handful of its power. And so that's everything. When you're talking about caring for the elderly, well, why would anyone invest in caring for the elderly in a capitalist society? What is the return on the investment for that? Very little. There's like maybe money in it for the funeral industry.
Yeah, but there's no money. I mean, but there is money in education of the young, but they're not seeing it as such, and therefore it like there should be a vested interest in good education, because there are bigger thinkers, more inventors, more patent getters, or whatever the fuck, right?
But think about it. Do we really
clearly aren't thinking that far in the future?
Think about it. Education for everybody would change the way that our society works. Good education and equal education for everybody. They don't necessarily want a lot of great thinkers. They want some thinkers.
Right. They just want a few. You're right.
Who are connected to power.
You're right. Well, but this is bullshit. So what are we? We have to be socialists? I don't even know. Again, can we start a cult?
Yeah, we definitely can start a cult. I'm full in for that. But I think like I totally agree with what you're saying, because like at the end of the day, like we can put on a show and we can have a telethon and we can raise $2 million like once a year, or we can like fucking hold the door open for somebody whose arms are full and like buy someone who needs groceries. And like,
yes,
you know, I agree with that. I think the issue is that it's decentralized, and I wish there was a way to organize that more. I kind of wish that there was, and maybe there is, maybe listeners, Busy's brushing her teeth right now, in case you are wondering what that was. I'm just
you can cut that out, can't you? Oh no, maybe not, because I don't have a separate file.
Yeah, no,
sorry.
It's fine. Don't worry about it.
A sound file.
We're just doing like verite podcasting right now.
Which is what I always wanted to do anyway. By the way,
I know, but well, who knows? Maybe it'll catch on. But. Oh, microloans. I think that's been something that I've done in the past. Have you ever given money to a microloan to someone in another country, like a businesswoman?
No, but there's like the Jewish Free Loan Federation, which is based on that exact principle. You can donate money to them. It's not just for Jewish people, but it was started by Jewish people, because in the Bible, like, they don't believe in the Old Testament, they don't believe in interest on loans.
Oh, okay, that's interesting.
There's no interest.
Huh.
It's actually in the Bible. There should be that loans should be interest free. That is like in the Old Testament. Did you know that?
Oh, so yeah, so basically Satan is running banks. But I think that it's a really interesting concept, and
it's true.
Yeah, I think
yes, because how do you expect anyone to get ahead if they owe a ton of money for, their education or starting their business or paying for their parents' medical expenses or whatever it is? I'm all about the Jewish Free Loan Federation.
How do you expect anyone to live when, like, a person is making the call whether somebody gets a loan or not, So anyway, well, listen, guys.
All right, I gotta go.
Well, guys, we're not going to solve all these problems right now, but we'd be interested to hear about your ideas for things that we could do, and if there's like a microloan program for people in the United States, I'm going to look into that, because like it's like $25 sometimes. I've like loaned to a businesswoman in another country, and
that's what that woman, like, Pandemic of Love, like, that's what she was trying to do, right?
Oh, I don't know, but I want to look into it, because that's pretty interesting. And like, I don't know how far $25 goes a lot further. Like, someone can build an entire business for like $200 in another country sometimes, depending on what it is. And I don't know that that's the case here in the United States, but it's something I'd be interested in looking into. But we didn't talk about what we were doing our best at this week, because it's an unconventional pod from Sweden.
I'm doing my best at trying not to lose the thread.
And I'm doing my best at I tried to make a boundary by putting an out of office message on my Gmail, and I was like, no one ever emails me except for this one person that's hounding me to like work together on something. But like, and if anyone's listening to this,
Caissie, fine, I will stop emailing you.
If anyone's listening to this, you think you're that person. Trust me, you're not that person. But so I put kind of a passive aggressive out of office message on my email, being like, and I literally said, if this is an emergency, hopefully you can just handle it, because nothing that we do is life or death, and it'll be fine. And of course, the one day that I actually get an email, like, Tina Fey emailed me to like ask about something, and she got the passive aggressive.
Oh my God.
But anyway, Tina Fey, if you're listening, I'm sorry for the passive aggressive out of office message. I don't even have an office. But Busy's got to go get a Coca-Cola and a water and watch Scum and enjoy Sweden's safe travels.
Thank you. All right. I'll talk to you.
We'll talk to all of you soon. We love you. Bye.
Love you. Okay, love you. Bye.
Bye.
I don't know what I'm doing, but I'm doing my best.
Oh no.